So, my stream crashed? So, guess this is gonna be a two-parter. Alright. Oh. Can't dig that high. I see. There is a way I could. Have this be one of those special builds I made before. Yep, like this. Got an infinite implicit. I hate myself sometimes, you know? No, I hate myself all the time. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I hate myself. Screw it. Why lie? Why lie about my self-hatred when I hold it out in the open like it's dangling from a stick? No point in hiding the truth, you know? You gonna hate yourself? Might as well be open about it. That's all there is to it. If you don't hate yourself, then you're just lying to yourself, trying to trick yourself into thinking that you hate yourself even though you actually don't. Which is even worse than hating yourself, because essentially what you're doing is you're sending yourself into an infinite weird loop spiral thing, where it's basically like, yeah, I hate myself, but then you don't actually hate yourself, which causes you to hate yourself. Which is something I would never, ever want to go down. So I'm just gonna be blunt and honest. I hate myself, and I'm okay with that. I hate the things I do. I hate who I am. I hate everything about myself, and I'm okay with that. Because it's like, yeah, sure, I hate myself, but that doesn't necessarily mean, oh yeah, I want to go do such and such, which would cause extreme emotional distress to the people around me. Sure, I do think about that, but it's not like I actually want to do it. Most people who do it don't actually want to do it. They do it either because their emotional unstableness forced them to, such as bullying and other things. Certain types of victims will do that sometimes because they hate themselves for essentially being a victim, even though when you're a victim you've done literally nothing wrong. In fact, you're the furthest from wrong. Unless you outright said, yeah, it was alright. Like, seriously. If you're gonna say you hate yourself, then in reality you don't actually hate yourself. Then what's the point in even saying it? That would be like if I said, yeah, today I'm happy, I'm healthy. When deep down inside, no, I'm not. And it physically hurts me to say that I'm happy, because then, in turn, it tricks my own brain into thinking that I'm happy, which causes me to not want to do things that make me happy. Saying that you dislike yourself or you hate yourself when you actually don't is a very poisonous thing. That's why I'm the type of person who's like, yeah, I hate myself. I'm open about it. I don't care that I hate myself. It's just a fact of life. The only thing I can do to not hate myself is do things that won't make me hate myself. But the only way I can do things that won't make me hate myself is by doing things that make me hate myself. Like, I'm one person. What do you expect me to do? I can't cure cancer. Nobody's perfect, and if you're gonna hate yourself for being imperfect, that's on you. That's not on anyone else. That's just you being overly narcissistic, or pessimistic, or some other word. That's basically just you admitting that you're weak. What's the point in that, you know? If you just admit that you're weak, other people are gonna say you're weak, and then if you retaliate, they'll just bring up the fact that you said it yourself. And if you try to say, oh yeah, I said I'm weak, but I don't like it when other people say I'm weak, that's hypocritical. So, if you're gonna say you hate yourself, then you ought to say it genuinely. I'm not saying that, yeah, you should hate yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, yeah, if you're gonna say that you hate yourself, don't just say it. Don't be like, yeah, I hate myself, because that's a very poisonous thing to do. If you say you hate yourself, but you don't actually hate yourself, it's a very poisonous thing to do, because it makes you think that you hate yourself. Like, it tricks your brain into thinking that you hate yourself, which in cause will most likely make you hate yourself, and just make you spiral into depression and self-hatred, which are not very good things, especially when combined. But if you say, yeah, I hate myself, and you're open about it, and you know you genuinely do, and you don't care, then that's fine, but it's not okay. Sure, if you hate yourself, you hate yourself. What are you gonna do about it? You can do things like do things that won't make you hate yourself. You can do stuff like that. You can enjoy life. You can try to enjoy life. You can hang out with friends. You can hang out with family. You can play games, like I am right now. You could talk to people. You could go and search for help. If you hate help is basically the equivalent of, yeah, I'm going to lock you up and there's nothing you can do about it because I am your ruler and you cannot do anything unless I tell you you can. It's very controlling, it's very manipulative, and it's not a very good thing to do. That's why when I say, yeah, like, if you're gonna hate yourself, like, if you say you hate yourself, then you might as well do it genuinely. Like, don't just say you hate yourself and not hate yourself, because then that makes you hate yourself. But if you say, yeah, I hate myself and I'm alright with that, like, if you accept the fact that, yeah, I hate myself and I'm probably not going to do anything to change that, if you just accept that fact, then not only will you be able to move on from that, but it won't be as poisonous, because if you just accept that, yeah, I do things that make me hate myself. I hate myself. There's nothing else to it. Then that makes it so, you know, if you do actually hate yourself, then you're not going to be as poisoned. Because it's like, yeah, I hate myself. I'm alright with that. Sure, a lot of people would be like, yeah, saying, oh, I hate myself and I'm alright with that. That's essentially the same thing as saying, oh, yeah, I don't like anything to do with my life. No. That is wrong. That is very, very wrong. When you say, I hate myself and I'm alright with that, that's just you accepting the fact that, yeah, I hate myself. And what about it? What do you want me to do about it? It's not like I can do anything about it. And even if I could, I don't want to. If you hate yourself, and you're open about it, you'll hate yourself less. Because then, if you're more open about it, people can help you hate yourself less. Like, they can help lessen your self-hatred. And turn that self-hatred into things like self-love. And being caring and empathetic. Instead of self-loathing, it's self-love. That's why when you hate yourself, it's best to talk to other people about it. Unless, of course, you're uncomfortable with that, and you'd rather just accept it. I'm at a point where I don't like to talk about my mentality. It's something that just, it comes to mind, and I'm like, well, guess I just gotta live with this now. A lot of people, when they go through things like depression, and they talk to someone about it, they get good help. Some people don't, some people do. Depends on who you talk to. You talk to your parents, yeah, you're probably going to get good help depending on who your parents are. If you've got, like, the worst parents in the world, of course they're not going to help you. But if you've got good, caring parents that have always been there for you, then there's a good chance they're going to help you. And if you trust them, then it's best to go and talk to them about depression. Like, if you have depression, social anxiety, it's best to talk to friends and family about that stuff and try to seek therapy and stuff. Otherwise, if you try to live with that your whole life, you could end up sending yourself down some weird mental spiral that will cause you to inevitably, well, not necessarily inevitably, like, it will cause you to go through severe bouts of depression, most likely. And potentially, it could make you something that I'm not going to say. And that is not okay in the slightest. Sure, I think about doing that kind of thing a lot. And the reason I don't seek help is because I choose not to. At least not at the moment. I'm currently trying to get into counseling for my mental health. Because I feel like that'll be good for me. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just cancel the counseling. Just stop going to counseling, you know. If the counseling hurts me, then what's the point in even going, right? If it's not going to help you, then you might as well just quit it. It's like drugs. They don't help you, so you should just quit. Then you reach a point where you don't want to quit, and eventually that just breaks you. But with counseling, once you reach that point where you don't want to quit, that's a good thing. Because that's like saying, yeah, I found my weakness, and even though I don't want to go to counseling for it, I still will. I don't care what other people say to me. I don't care what other people have to say. If they don't like the fact that I'm getting help for my mental health, that's on them, not on me. when you have mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, and other things, it's not a good thing to keep it to yourself unless you know that that is the only coping method you have. For me, keeping to myself is really one of the only coping methods I have. Because if I try to tell people about it, it just sends me through this weird loop that causes me to just think, what's the point in even trying anymore? And once you reach that dead-end point, then, like, it's like, yeah, oh, yeah, just, ooh, like, I hate myself, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I can't socialize with people. When you're at that point, you should get help. Like, as soon as you notice that, yeah, I probably have depression or anxiety, you should get help. I agree, but like I said, if health is not the coping method that you need, instead keeping to yourself is the best coping method for you, like for me, then just keep to yourself. The reason I tend to keep to myself is because I know that if I don't, and I say something like, yeah, I'm so-and-so in front of my grandma, she's going to get upset. That's why I don't tend to talk around her about the stuff, because, like, she knows, but she doesn't want to accept it. And if keeping quiet is the coping method for you, then just go with keeping quiet. There's no harm in just being quiet to help others, you know? If the only thing you can do is keep quiet, then just do that. Do what you're good at. Like, do what makes you happy. Do things that you're best at. Don't try to limit yourself with something you know you can't do, or something you know you're bad at, or that you don't like. If you don't like your living conditions, then just work hard to change your living conditions. Although my living conditions can't be exactly called the best, I can say that I am very content with them. I don't care how violent my house is. I don't care how violent the people in my house can be. I don't care that I live with 2 alcoholics. That's just something I'm gonna live with. I don't want to leave. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't. Because, in truth, why should I? I understand that, yeah, to a lot of people, it's a horrible living situation. But it's the best one I can have right now. And I would rather live with people I'm comfortable with living with than live with people that I'm not comfortable with living with, like complete strangers or friends or even my own mother. Sure, people's living conditions differ a lot. And if you're not happy with the living conditions you currently have, sure, seeking change is nice. But you don't always have to seek change. Sure, time's gonna go by, things are gonna change, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to. If you don't want to change, like, if you have depression because you don't want to change, then you don't have to change. Just be yourself. If you're in some kind of relationship where your special someone is like, oh yeah, you gotta change your whole personality for me, then if you're not comfortable with that, then you shouldn't even be in that relationship. Because if they want you to be how they want you, it scare me. But still, like, if you're not okay with something in your life, then try to, like, if you're not okay with something in your life, try to change it. If you can't change it, try to seek help to change it. Like, try to get help from people to help you change it. If you don't care about it, like if it's not affecting your life much at all, and you don't care if it changes or not, then you don't need to change it. If you're perfectly content with being in a relationship with someone who wants you to change who you are for them, then that's up to you. It's not up to anyone else. And if you're in a relationship like that and you don't want to be in it, just leave that relationship. It's not very healthy. Or you could ask your special someone, like, hey, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this. Can you please stop? And if they still don't, you can seek help, or you could just cut yourself off from them. You do what you want to do. You do things how you want to do things. Nobody else can change that. No one but you. If the only way that you can really deal with depression or anxiety or other mental disorders is just by keeping to yourself, go ahead and do that. If you want to keep to yourself so that you don't burden other people, go ahead and keep to yourself. Sure, that doesn't necessarily mean that keeping to yourself is a good thing, but if that's the only option you have, like if that's the option you choose, then go ahead. There's no one stopping you. If you don't want to be closed off, don't close yourself off. Talk to people. Be friendly. Ask for help. If you don't want the help of other people, you don't need to get the help from other people. You can get the help from yourself. Like, if you don't want, like, such and such to happen because you're afraid that so-and-so will make it happen, then just, like, if you're afraid of such and such happening because of so-and-so, then just make that person not do the thing that will cause that. Of course, if it's something like, yeah, I'm going to, if it's something like, yeah, I'm gonna throw this huge party for you, but you don't want them to throw any kind of party at all, like if it's your birthday and you don't want them to throw you a birthday party, like a huge one, and you just want to relax all day, you can just ask them to. Like, you can ask them, like, hey, yeah, can you not throw a party? I don't want one. Like me, I personally hate huge gatherings. I'm a very introverted person, and I don't like talking with people very much. So, what I tend to do is I try to avoid social situations. And on my birthday, I was like, on my 15th birthday, I was like, hey, yeah, can we not throw some huge party? I don't want that. I just want a couple gifts, maybe a hug, maybe maybe a birthday card or something. Just some small things that won't really change my day-to-day life. I don't want some huge party thrown, because that would make me uncomfortable and uneasy, and I would not like that. If you don't want them to throw a huge party, just ask them not to throw a huge party. If you want to live in peace and not have to worry about that kind of thing, then go ahead and live in peace. Tell the people ahead of time, like, yeah, I don't want a huge party thrown because so-and-so, or like, yeah, I don't want a huge party thrown because it makes me uncomfortable. Just tell them. It's not gonna hurt anyone. It's like, yeah, I'm afraid to talk to people about such and such, because it's like, oh yeah, if I talk to people about it, then everyone will hate me. if people hate you for who you are, like, if your friends hate you for who you truly are, then can you really call them your friends? Can you really call them anything more than strangers? If they don't like the way you are, then you don't have to change for them. You don't have to change yourself to appease other people. All you have to do is be you. If you have some kind of mental illness or mental disorder, and your friends don't like it, then you can just tell them, hey, yeah, I don't want to be friends anymore because I'm uncomfortable with you constantly like, yeah, oh, you have this mental disorder, I don't like that. Because, like, if you don't want someone to make fun of you for something in your life, like if someone makes fun of you a lot because you have depression or something, then just don't stick with them. They're bad people no matter how you look at it. If someone's going to make fun of someone who has a mental disorder, a mental illness, then they're not good people, and you shouldn't associate yourself with them. Unless, of course, you're not a good person and you just want to associate with them. Then I guess go for it. I wouldn't want to be your friend anyway. Like, if you just try and seek help, like, if you think help would be good for you, and you try and seek help, and you find help, it may actually help, no pun intended. Like, if you seek counseling or therapy, it may actually help. If it doesn't help, then I guess just stop. Like, if it doesn't help you, instead it hurts you, then go ahead and feel free to end it. Not your life, but, like, end the counseling and stuff. If you feel that the counseling or the therapy isn't good for you, then just feel free to just stop going. Tell them, yeah, it's not helping at all. Like, it's not helping me, instead it's hurting me. Yeah, I know I came here to seek help, but, like, even though you may be able to help other people, I do not feel like I am getting much help from this. I'm an idiot. Like, you could be like, yeah, even though you help other people, I do not feel like I get much help from this, so I'm going to quit coming to therapy or whatever, so just cancel my therapy or whatever. Because if you don't feel like it's helping you, in truth, it probably isn't. I know a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, but it is helping you. Like, yeah, even if you think it is and it is, that's not necessarily true. If you feel that it's not helping you, then don't go. If you feel that it is helping you, then go. If it's something you genuinely enjoy, like if you enjoy going to therapy because it makes you happier to actually interact with someone, then go ahead and go to therapy or go to counseling or whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. If you just want to stay shut in and not really talk about yourself very much and you don't want to talk about this kind of thing, then just go ahead and keep to yourself like I do. Sure, my crazed thoughts are the main reason I tend to keep quiet. but people have reasons for the kind of, like, people have reasons for not wanting to do something or wanting to do something. Like, say, they don't want to get help, they have some kind of reason they don't want to get help. Like, if it's like, yeah, I don't want to get help because it's scary, I don't know who the person is, and for all I know, they could attack me, then all you have to do is try to convince yourself or convince that person that, yeah, it's going to be fine. They're not here to hurt you, they're here to help you. Because that's the truth. That is the cold, hard, undying truth. If you don't want help because you're like, yeah, I just don't feel like getting help, then I still recommend you try it at least. I genuinely don't feel like I want help, but I'm still going to try to get into counseling because there's counseling buildings near me. And it's easy and available. And after a mental health assessment, because I had an ear infection, they decided, yeah, here's some counseling recommendations. So it's like, yeah, if you don't want to seek help, then you don't have to. But it's still recommended because it may help you. I know I normally don't talk about dark and serious topics like this on this channel, but I just want to bring to light the stuff that people tend to go through. Like, for all you know, one of your family members could have some kind of serious depression or serious anxiety, or they could be going through something that they don't talk about, because they feel like if they do talk about it, that they'll be shunned from the family, or everyone will just be like, ew, that's weird. And it can hurt. It does hurt. If they're not comfortable with talking about it, then just let them ease into talking about it. If they don't want to talk about it ever, don't force them to talk about it. Forcing someone to talk about something they don't want to talk about would be literally the same thing as like, yeah, I don't want to talk about the fact that, like, I personally don't like to talk about my dark thoughts because they aren't the kind of thing that people tend to see as normal, quote unquote. I don't like to talk about my dark thoughts because I feel like if I did, I would be put on some kind of government watch list. And when I do actually talk about my thoughts, it tends to make me feel uneasy, because then I'm like, I just told someone the stuff that I think about, and that probably makes them hate me, even though it clearly doesn't. And it's like, yeah, they don't hate you for what you think. They'll hate you for what you do, not what you think. If you go to therapy, they're not gonna hate you. If you outwardly attack someone, they're probably going to hate you. If you just attack someone for no reason, or if you attack a good person. Like, if you attack their family, yeah, they're most likely gonna hate you for it. Or at the very least, they're gonna resent you. But if you don't do that kind of thing, and all you do is go to seek help, no one's going to attack you for it. Sure, there are idiots on the internet and idiots around the world that are like, oh yeah, things like therapy is for the weak, when really therapy is just for people who need help with their issues. If you've got serious mental issues or a serious mental illness, the best thing to do would be to seek help. If you don't wish to seek help, you don't have to. Nobody's gonna force you to, unless of course someone is, which I doubt they would. If you choose to seek help, go ahead and seek help. If you don't want to, don't. It's all up to you. It's your life. It's your choice. Now, with that said, I might as well end the stream after this. I mean, playing Minecraft after talking about such a dark topic just doesn't feel very right, you know? So, gonna end the stream watching the sunset. Never thought I'd spend half an hour talking about mental health, but here I am. Be nice if we had some music, you know. Imagine if the music kicked in after the sunset, that'd be funny. Well then, everybody, I believe that that'll be it. I thank anyone who viewed this stream before or after it's finished. And I thank anyone who listened to my mental health rant, like my mental health talk. And I thank anyone who takes my advice and takes it seriously. I thank you all. I wish you a great day or night. Subscribe if you would like to. That's up to you. And with that, goodbye.